Visiting another PS1 favorite from back in the day, today we're talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone for you Brits. The Harry Potter series was one of my favorite books when I was growing up. In fact, The Deathly Hallows was the last physical book I ever read before switching to ebooks and audiobooks. Probably don't need to go very in-depth about Harry Potter considering he's been a worldwide phenomenon for more than 2 decades now, but I will quickly sum up the first book to give this game some context. Basically, an evil Dark Lord was taking over the wizarding world. He goes and tries to kill the Chosen One as a baby, that baby pulls a no you, and kills him instead. The baby is left to live with his shitty relatives for 10 years, to keep him safe from the dark wizards or whatever. After some weird shit goes down, a half-giant fills him in that he's a wizard. He goes off to wizard boarding school, gets into some school shenanigans, finds out the Dark Lord may not actually be dead, and wants the Philosopher's Stone for perfect human transmutation. Harry burns him to death with the power of love or something and saves the day. In the end, he learns that the real magic was the friends he made along the way. I know that was a very abbreviated retelling of the first book, but we'd be here forever if I took the time to explain everything. The game itself takes the same approach, briefly summing up certain parts in storybook fashion in order to get to the gameplay sections. The game released a day after the movie, but has an interesting mix of both movie and book elements. For example, Harry's scar is closer to the right side of his forehead instead of being closer to the center. The other is the inclusion of Peeves, a prankster ghost who shows up in all 7 books but ends up being cut from the movies. The game is a simplistic platform adventure game, similar to Ocarina of Time but bare bones in comparison. You have a simple walk off the edge to jump platforming, a wand for attacking, a lock-on, and first-person aim mode, and some extra spells that are basically rhythm games. Not amazing, but honestly more than I expected from a movie tie-in game. The game's graphics are rough. While I think the environments are perfectly fine, the character models, not so much. Everyone's face looks so scrunched up. Maybe a cel-shaded look like Legends would have worked better. One thing I'll give it props for is the voice acting. Definitely much better than the PS1 games of the time.
Well, if it isn't the famous Harry Potter. I'm Draco Malfoy, and you do well to show me respect. Looking for that owl of yours? How careless of you to leave it lying about. Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry, you don't have one, do you?
When we start the game, it briefly summarizes the first few chapters of the book, explaining how Hagrid saved Harry from his house, dropped him off at the Dursleys, his shitty life with the Dursleys, and finally being admitted to Hogwarts and being sorted into Gryffindor. From there, the game starts us off in the entrance hall. Dumbledore will tell you to go around exploring Hogwarts, and to avoid the 3rd floor unless you want to die. Cool beans. Walk through the halls and you'll bump into Fred and George Weasley, your best bud Ron's older brothers. In this series, they're pranksters who get caught up in all sorts of trouble. Here they want you to collect jelly beans for them. Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. Famous for having every flavor, from normal stuff like cherry or grape to weird shit like earwax or mint. In the game, there's 4 different flavors they want you to collect in different quantities. Get them the right amount and they'll give you a password to get through a painting and collect an upgrade. The upgrades don't feel worth it though, as 2 of them are Quidditch specific, which is pretty easy already. Another upgrades your basic attack spell, but I couldn't really tell much of a difference. And finally, the last is just a wizarding card. They're easy to find, but don't feel obligated to go out of your way for them. After a quick trip into the common room, meet up with Ron and find out Malfoy's being a total knob, and get your owl back from him. Here you'll get introduced to the platforming, which is awkward. You don't have a dedicated jump button, you just run off the edge. But because of the camera and its awkward controls, it's weird to land jumps, especially if they're far away or at a diagonal angle. Make your way upstairs, and Nearly Headless Nick will explain how to use the knockback spell to stun enemies, and that the X button is actually the cross button. Remember a year ago when the internet was baffled when it was confirmed X was cross all along? Yeah, well this game confirmed it 20 years ago, which is just fucking blowing my mind. Continue through the area, stopping to talk to this painting for a moment.
Another settlement has sent word that they need our help.
As you make your way through, you'll bump into Neville Longbottom, being useless like always, and then finally save Hedwig. After talking to Ron, you're off to learn how to ride on a broom. It's straightforward stuff, fly through the rings as fast as you can before the time runs out. The flying controls are okay, but can be stiff when turning. Once you're done, you'll meet up with Ron and Hermione. You'll head off to class with Professor Flitwick, doing a time platforming section for more house points. In class, he'll teach you Wingardium Leviosa.
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
That'll let you lift certain objects for puzzles. Afterwards, Hedwig will drop off a letter from Hagrid asking you to come visit for some tea soon. Head for your herbology class, but before you get there, you'll have to deal with Malfoy and his cronies. Toss their firecrackers back at them, and you're off to do some book learning. After another rhythm minigame, Professor Sprout will teach you Incendio, letting you burn up certain obstacles. Finish class and head for Hagrid's hut, bumping into some nerd who lost his cat and Ron's useless ass. Talk to Hagrid and he'll ask you to get some fire seeds. Head into the forest, talk to Neville again, and take out a flying gargoyle. Do some puzzle platforming using these weird squishy things, go through some lava, and finally get the seeds that Hagrid needs. He uses them to hatch a dragon, and apparently didn't make you any tea or crumpets, that bellend. After chasing Malfoy around on a broom, Professor McGonagall spots you and forces you to join the Quidditch team. You are immediately thrown into your first game. Cool, thanks Professor, didn't need to practice or anything. Though I did actually practice before this. After winning, and reminding Hufflepuff just how irrelevant they are in this series, you'll bump into Professor Snape. He'll talk shit and tell you that class starts once he's found his sloth brain. Yeah, you guessed it, we're going to have to go get it for him. Once it's done, you'll get a letter from Hermione, and then meet her in the dungeons for potion class. Once you return the brain, Snape tells you to eat shit, and teaches you how to brew potions. It's pretty underused honestly, and the game is so easy you won't need the healing potions you make all that often. You'll get ambushed by some mysterious dude in black, spoilers, this is the main villain, and then get stuck in the sewers. You'll bump into some mini trolls? Troll children? I don't know. Just kill them and work your way through the sewers, using levers to unlock more of the path until finally you're out of there. You'll reunite with Snape, who's surprised you made it back at all. That's pretty sus right there. And you're off to your next class, Defense Against the Dark Arts. Same shtick as before, head to class, do a timed platforming section, and then learn a new spell from the rhythm game. This one lets you make transparent platforms visible, but compared to the other spells, only ever gets like 2 uses. You'll run into Peeves for a bit.
Hey Potter! I'm Peeves, Potter, and you better watch out for me. Young Potter, you're ugly, but what can we do? Everyone says you belong in a zoo. If you look in a mirror, it surely will crack. The best thing to do is wear a nice sack.
And be blocked by a door that's been jinxed, needing you to take out these 4 magic eyes scattered around the dungeon. After a bit of exploring and eye gouging, you're finally free and can head to Professor McGonagall's class. I'm not going to lie, things have gotten repetitive at this point. Time platforming level, rhythm game again, and cast a spell to turn statues into living things. Like the last spell, you only really get to use it like twice. Thankfully, the next part finally shakes things up. You'll get a parcel from Hedwig, but Peeves will steal it, so you'll have to chase after him. It's supposed to be a race, but I'm not so sure you can actually lose to him though. You'll run through these small wooden beams and leap from platform to platform, being careful not to fall off until you finally catch up with him. Open up the parcel and you'll find the invisibility cloak. Unlike the books in the movie though, you can't just use it whenever you want, and you have to find a special token in order for it to work, and then it only lasts a couple seconds before turning off. Head for the Forbidden Corridor and be immediately stopped by the school's caretaker, Argus Filch. After he tells you not to sneak in, you sneak in behind him. You'll have to use your invisibility cloak to stay hidden, find keys to unlock doors, and find what's being hidden in the Forbidden Corridor. Cue stealth segment. After Harry stares into a mirror looking at himself for hours like some kind of gym bro, we skip ahead just in time for... You're now in a chase sequence running away from the troll. Basically a copy-paste of the chase sequences in Crash Bandicoot. This part isn't too tough as it's easy to outrun the troll, but the problem is you'll sometimes have to jump from platform to platform to avoid water, which is awkward to land and easy to end up dying. Once you're done, save Hermione in the bathroom and get sucked into another Quidditch match. After this, we enter what I consider the worst part of the game, Diagon Alley. So the setup for this segment is simple. Hagrid's dragon is sick, so we need certain ingredients to cure it. Okay, fair enough. He wants you to go to the bank and withdraw some money to buy the ingredients. Weird that I'm paying for it when it's your dragon, Hagrid, but okay, easy enough, right?
Wrong!
When you go to the bank and head for the vaults, you have to first collect the correct paperwork to enter the vault. After the stupid slip and slide level, you can go inside. And you're done, right? Nope! Now you have to get on the weird trolley thing and collect your money. Jesus, this is so obnoxious. The controls are simple enough, but trying to get the spin right in order to get the coins is a nightmare. Also, if you collect all the coins in a segment, you can collect gems. What do? Nothing! Like, if they gave you bonus coins, I could understand why they're worth it, but there's no use to them. At all. But once you're done with this nightmare, you can go buy the ingredients, right? Yeah. No. You have to do this 2 more times now. Doing the stupid collect the paperwork minigame before each time, too. You'd think that'd be the worst of it, but nope, now more bullshit when it comes to the ingredients. You would think these shop owners would just hand you what you paid for and end the level. But no, these assholes make you get the ingredients through the more obnoxious minigames. They aren't super hard, but good god, the padding in this level. They should have just skipped over it if they couldn't come up with decent ideas. Once you're done with this hell, meet up with that drunk Hagrid, heal Norbert, and skip ahead in the story. After a trip through the woods at night, we're finally in the endgame. You'll head to the Forbidden Corridor and run into Fluffy. Like the book and the movie, you have to put him to sleep to get past him. Next, you're taking on the Devil's Snare. Take out the tentacles as they light up, and then take out the main body. Next, do some Quidditch-ing to grab the key to the next room, and play chess absolutely wrong to proceed. Next is the Troll again, and in a twist I kinda like, you have to move things out of the way as he sleepwalks instead of outright rehashing the running level again. After a quick follow the cup puzzle, and fighting some suits of armor, you unmask the mastermind behind everything, Professor Quirrell / Voldemort's face. The fight isn't too hard, just avoid his spells and charge up your spell to knock down pillars onto him. Halfway through, he'll shoot off more spells and charge a big spell at you, but they're super easy to dodge. The trick in this phase is you just have to fire 2 spells at the mirror while Voldemort's in front of it to damage him. Add a QTE at the end of the fight, and you're the boy who lived, again. You'll get a quick storybook wrap-up of the ending, Dumbledore pulls some BS so Gryffindor wins the House Cup, and you beat the game. Unlike Typhoo, Harry Potter was still as good as I remember it back in the day. Yeah, the graphics don't hold up, it's a bit repetitive, and it's short at just under 5 hours, and Diagon Alley is just all sorts of horrible. But for a movie tie-in game, it's a lot better than it has any right to be. It captures the charm of the books and the movie, the voice acting is much better than you'd expect for a PS1 game, and the music ain't half bad. Definitely recommend it, and you could probably scoop it for as cheap as $5 used. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, leave a like and comment below. If you enjoy my content and want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. I'm Fuzzy Slippers, and I'll see you later.